you ever walked into a room, glanced at someone, and instantly felt a shift in the atmosphere, like a silent, invisible wall had been put up between you and them? You might have tried to shrug it off, but deep down, something felt off. Something didn't quite click. You know that feeling. The subtle yet unmistakable signs of someone hiding their true feelings, especially the ones they don't want you to see. Discomfort, disdain, dislike. The truth is, we live in a world where masks are worn more often than faces. But those who practice the ancient art of self-control and fortitude, stoics, if you will, know that such moments should never be brushed aside. They are opportunities. Opportunities to exercise our greatest power, the ability to remain unmoved, unshaken, and unflustered in the face of emotions that threaten to destabilize us. Today, we will explore the 7 signs that someone dislikes you and is trying to hide it. But we will approach it with a different lens, not from the perspective of weakness or fear, but from the perspective of strength, from the eyes of a true Stoic who knows how to remain unaffected by the moods and feelings of others. We will uncover these signs, not to dwell on their negativity, but to learn how to fortify ourselves against them. If you're ready, take a deep breath. Let's begin. Number 1. Subtle changes in body language. One of the most common signs that someone dislikes you is a shift in their body language. Stoicism teaches us to be aware of what is within our control, our actions, our reactions, and our inner responses. However, others often reveal their emotions without saying a word. The slightest change in posture, a sudden stiffening, or even the way they avoid eye contact can speak volumes about their true feelings toward you. We, as Stoics, do not take these subtle shifts personally. To do so would be to allow another's internal battle to disturb our own peace of mind. Instead, we observe these signs with a calm, detached curiosity. The philosopher Epictetus once stated, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This means that when we see someone close their body off, crossing their arms, turning away, or fidgeting, we should not immediately rush to conclusions. Rather, we must ask ourselves, what is this trying to teach me? Is it trying to trigger a response in us? Are we going to let the discomfort of the moment influence us, or will we remain steadfast, grounded in our understanding that their actions are a reflection of them, not us? A true Stoic's response is one of control, recognizing that while we cannot control the discomfort others may feel, we can always control how we choose to interpret and react to those signs. Number 2, the disguised coldness in their voice. In the art of reading people, their words are often the most revealing. But just as important is the tone in which those words are spoken. Coldness disguised as politeness can be an insidious sign of dislike. A Stoic understands that how others speak to us is their responsibility, but how we interpret it is ours. Imagine a situation where someone's tone of voice suddenly feels sharp, distant, or flat, even if their words appear neutral on the surface. This is not an accident. Their disconnection is a reflection of their inner state, and it is a sign of their true feelings, even if they try to mask it with pleasantries. The Stoic response here is simple. Do not be moved by the winds of others' moods. We do not react to their tone with defensiveness or hurt feelings. Instead, we focus on the fact that their coldness is something they must carry, not us. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "When you are disturbed by an external event, it is not the event itself, but your judgment about it that causes you pain." By practicing emotional detachment, we learn not to get caught in the emotional undertow of others' behavior. Their coldness is theirs to bear, and we must remain unshaken in the face of it. A Stoic knows that no one can make us feel inferior or hurt unless we allow them to. Number 3, excessive formality and distance. Another sign someone dislikes you, yet tries to hide it, is excessive formality. When you sense an unnaturally distant or mechanical interaction, it could be a sign that the person feels uncomfortable around you, perhaps even hostile. They may maintain a professional distance, avoiding personal topics, using only formal language, and ensuring no emotional connection forms. For the Stoic, this situation is a challenge to one's inner calm. A true Stoic does not crave connection or approval from others, for they know that all external relationships are temporary, and their happiness is not contingent on anyone's behavior. When faced with excessive formality, the wise among us will recognize it for what it is, a wall built by someone else's emotions. a wall that will not affect our peace unless we allow it. Seneca, in his Letters from a Stoic, reminds us that we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. The Stoic mind does not dwell on what others think of us. We accept their behavior with the understanding that it is rooted in their own thoughts and judgments. To react emotionally to the formality is to surrender our power. Instead, we respond with grace, maintaining our integrity and treating them with the same respect and courtesy, never allowing their discomfort to disrupt our serenity. The key here is to remember that we are not responsible for how others behave. We are responsible for our own responses. And the Stoic response is always one of strength and composure, acknowledging the behavior for what it is while refusing to be controlled by it. Number 4, the absence of genuine engagement. One of the clearest signs of hidden dislike is a complete lack of genuine engagement. When someone avoids meaningful conversation or seems to go through the motions of interacting with you, it's often because they are emotionally distant. They may give short answers, show little interest in your words, or engage only when absolutely necessary. A true Stoic does not waste energy in seeking out or lamenting these forms of rejection. We understand that the fault lies not in our character, but in the other person's internal state, which they are projecting outward. It is easy to fall into the trap of self-doubt and frustration when we are met with apathy, but such reactions are beneath the Stoic mindset. Our self-worth is not dependent on external validation, and therefore we should not invest emotional energy in trying to coax connection from someone who does not wish to engage. In the words of Epictetus, "Seek not the good in external things, seek it in yourselves." When we are faced with someone who chooses to disengage, we see it as a moment of opportunity to practice detachment, patience, and indifference. The Stoic does not fight for attention or validation. Instead, they give what is necessary, nothing more. They accept the interaction for what it is, knowing that the absence of engagement is simply the reflection of the other's discontent, not an indictment of their worth. By maintaining emotional distance, we guard our peace and avoid becoming entangled in the futile pursuit of acceptance from those who have already made up their minds. Number 5, the subtle use of sarcasm or passive aggression. Sarcasm and passive-aggressive remarks are powerful tools for disguising negative emotions, and when someone dislikes you but is trying to hide it, they often resort to these methods. The passive-aggressive individual may mask their true feelings with veiled insults or backhanded compliments, all while maintaining an outward facade of civility. They might say things like, "I didn't expect you to understand," or "Oh, that's great for you, I guess." On the surface, it seems harmless, but the underlying message is one of disdain. As Stoics, we recognize that these remarks are an external expression of someone's inner turmoil. Rather than responding with a sharp tongue or retreating into defensiveness, we choose to acknowledge the comment with equanimity. By doing so, we avoid giving power to the emotions that the person is struggling to contain. The Stoic way is not to be ensnared by these manipulations. We understand that the problem lies not with us, but with the person who resorts to such behavior. Seneca's wisdom in On Anger reminds us that no man is free who is not master of himself. The key to freedom is self-mastery. When faced with sarcasm or passive aggression, a true Stoic will not lash out or feel slighted. Instead, they will remain calm, detached, and unbothered. They will recognize the deeper insecurity or discomfort within the other person, and they will respond with dignity, knowing that their sense of self-worth does not depend on how others choose to communicate. Responding with silence, or a measured and calm reply, shows that we are not vulnerable to these tactics. By maintaining control, we remain unshaken, unaffected by the storm of someone else's unexpressed feelings. Number 6, avoidance of physical proximity. Another clear sign of someone's hidden dislike is the consistent avoidance of physical proximity. They may step back when you enter the room, avoid sitting next to you at a table, or make a conscious effort to keep a physical distance. While this may seem subtle, it speaks volumes about their feelings toward you. In such moments, the Stoic mindset comes into play. The Stoic understands that we cannot control how others feel, nor should we ever feel threatened or diminished by it. The desire to shrink or retreat in response to someone's avoidance is a sign of emotional fragility, something that the Stoic works to overcome. Instead, we respond with fortitude, choosing not to allow their behavior to disturb our inner balance. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught, "The greater the difficulty, the more glory in surmounting it. Skillful pilots gain their reputation from storms and tempests." When we encounter someone avoiding us, we do not view it as a personal failure or a challenge to our character. We see it as an opportunity to strengthen our self-control, to remain unmoved by their actions. We are not beholden to their behavior. We need no validation through proximity. Instead of retreating into self-doubt or trying to win their approval, we stand firm, knowing that our worth is not determined by their acceptance or rejection. The Stoic remains centered, grounded in the knowledge that external factors, like someone's choice of physical space, cannot touch the core of who we are. Number 7, the inconsistent display of emotion. The final sign of hidden dislike is the inconsistent display of emotion. One moment, they may appear cordial or even friendly, but the next, they seem distant, cold, or uninterested. This emotional inconsistency can be disorienting, leaving us to wonder why they are not maintaining the same level of warmth or engagement as before. In these situations, the Stoic mindset calls for clarity and emotional detachment. Rather than investing energy into trying to understand the reason behind this erratic behavior, we accept that this is their internal conflict, manifesting outwardly. We cannot control the emotional chaos of others, but we can control how much of it we allow to affect us. The Stoic philosophers, particularly Marcus Aurelius, emphasize the importance of responding to others with compassion, but without letting their emotions dictate our state of mind. He wrote in Meditations, "When you are about to embark on a task, remind yourself that the person who is angry with you is, in fact, acting in accordance with their nature." Their inconsistency is not an attack on us, but a reflection of their own turmoil, which we do not need to absorb. We are not moved by their fluctuations. Instead, we choose to maintain our inner balance, unaffected by the tides of others' emotional states. By responding with emotional consistency and self-mastery, we demonstrate the power of the Stoic mind, unshaken, undisturbed, and unflinching in the face of external turmoil. In a world where external circumstances, including the actions of others, are beyond our control, the Stoic teaches us that the only thing truly within our grasp is our own response. The 7 signs we've explored today, the subtle changes in body language, the coldness in tone, excessive formality, lack of engagement, sarcasm, avoidance of proximity, and emotional inconsistency, are simply markers of someone else's inner struggle. They are not a reflection of our worth, nor should they disturb our peace. As Stoics, we recognize that these signs, though unpleasant, provide us with invaluable lessons in self-control, fortitude, and emotional resilience. Rather than reacting impulsively as the world would have us do, we choose to remain calm, composed, and unmoved by the negativity around us. We understand that our power lies not in changing others, but in mastering ourselves. Remember, the Stoic journey is one of perpetual growth. Each challenge, whether it be a slight from another, a misunderstanding, or a moment of discomfort, is an opportunity for us to refine our character, to become more in control of our emotions, and to cultivate the inner strength that will allow us to rise above the turbulence of the world. So, the next time you encounter these signs of hidden dislike, remember, it is not the external world that should shape your peace, but your ability to remain steadfast, unshaken, and resolute. The only approval that truly matters is the approval you give yourself. Stay grounded, stay strong, and remember, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. What are your views on this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I will personally read all of your comments. And if you seriously want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. Stay strong. Until next time.